Hey guys, it's Pastor Brian, and this topic is for all of you Christians out there, especially you wealthy Christians. I want to talk to you about excelling in the act of giving. It comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 8. Paul writes, and he says, I want you to know, he's writing to the church in Corinth, what God did in his kindness through the churches in Macedonia. Okay, so he's writing to the church in Corinth about the church in Macedonia. He said, they were tested by many troubles. They were very poor. Those are bad things. But they ended up being filled with abundant joy and overflowing with rich generosity, which are good things. So bad situation, bad financial situation, bad life situation. But in spite of all of that, they were filled with joy and they ended up being very generous toward the needs in the church. In fact, it says that they gave not only what they could afford, but they gave far more. So it was extreme generosity out of the church in Macedonia. But as you read on, he is saying this to the church in Corinth. Since you excel in so many ways, in your faith, in your gifted speakers, in your knowledge, in your enthusiasm, in your love from us, he said this, I want you to also excel in the gracious act of giving. Now, Paul is being very pastoral here. He's sort of reprimanding the church in Corinth. And I think some of us Christians need to hear this reprimand. He was saying that they were bad at giving. They were so good and mature at all these other things. They thought they were great Christians. They were playing church really well, but they were bad at giving. In fact, it's worse. They were rich, and yet they were bad at giving. Go back and read this chapter for yourself. That's what Paul is saying. He's scolding them. He's saying, guys, you should be better at this. You should be generous in your giving. He says the reason why is because of the generous grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. So he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, so that by his poverty he could make you rich. Let that passage sink in, especially if you're a rich Christian and you're not very good at giving. I want you to do this exercise. Just real simple budgeting exercise. Write down from top to bottom your biggest monthly expenses. Maybe it looks something like this. And I want you to just pay attention to where your giving ends up. I'm talking about giving to good, solid churches, good, solid ministries. Maybe you give to Pursue God. Maybe you give to your local church. I want you to see where that giving shows up. And my challenge is just to bump it up. Just move it up one item in your list. You know, if it's underneath your cable bill for the month, don't beat yourself up. Just start giving more to God than you give to cable. And maybe then next quarter, bump it up one more item. And keep bumping it up until you give more to God than anything else. I think this is what Paul would encourage all of us to do as we learn to excel in the act of giving.